Hello, everyone. Welcome to a brand new season with a brand new name and all the things. My name is Crystal Cabray, and I come to you from On Planet because this month there has been a lot of stuff and things. Maybe next month we'll get my face. But today we are going to kick off the season with fast-paced fundamentals. I'm very, 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 very excited because last year we went through our homework and did an entire season's worth of homework help, and it was really exciting. And now we are going to take it all back to the beginning and do some fundamentals. This is the lineup for the year. Yes, we're getting organized, we're getting beautiful. We are in March, so we are going to kick it off with creative play and tools of the trade. This is our roadmap for the year, guys. You want to take a screenshot of it or just kind of just keep it in your noodle because you're going to see it a lot. And yeah, let's just jump right in. Let us just fly. It's weird not seeing my own face on these recordings. Normally you see me in the corner. That's why we have this lovely face right here because why not? Okay. So what are our expectations? We always love to start with some expectations. This video is going to be 30 minutes max. I know in the past sometimes we've gone to almost an hour or beyond because we just get all thrown in the weeds of doing the stuff and the things. But it is going to be 30 minutes max. Instruction on the topic of the month, as you saw in the previous slide. We have a mission this season to get through the core of the fundamentals and really just honing in some of the skills that you will find that you can pick up on Planet. If you are participating in story mode, you will get an even more in-depth version of these fundamentals that we will cover, but it is called fast-paced, not long and lengthy. You'll get examples. You'll get something to take home with you because, we love homework around here. We are no longer called homework help, but we do like some homework. And I always like to give out some creative play freebies. At the moment, I do not remember what it is for this episode, but I guess we'll find out together. Okay, that's a lot. Let's dive right into it. What is not that. What is creative play? Oh my gosh, move. What is creative play? That's a great way to kick it off. An unstructured, open ended, and imaginative process where an individual can use their imagination to explore, experiment, and express themselves without rigid rules. It includes activities like drawing, storytelling, building, and role playing, which foster essential cognitive, emotional, social, and physical development. It allows people to turn ordinary objects into extraordinary creations, enhancing problem solving skills and self expression. Now, I know it says children here, and I left it there on purpose because I literally plucked this from the internet. I literally wanted to see what the social, not social, I'm sorry, what are search engine, sorry, if I say the name then it's going to go off, but the search engine, I went into it and I typed in define creative play and I literally plucked it word for word. So it says children, and I left it in there because I wanted to make um a little elongated point about why we as adults have a problem with creative play. It is also a reason why there's a very long dissertation to two words, creative and play. Creativity stems from an organic source. It comes from our gut. It comes from something that we liked as a child when we were just free, not really preconditioned with anything, maybe like a couple handfuls of letters from the alphabet and a color or two. That was about it. And play is what this whole entire paragraph is about. It's doing something without rigid rules. It is all of this, actually. This is a long, lengthy list that does not encompass everything, but it is a good majority of the topics that one could encounter when talking about creative play. Some of them are very obvious and off the cuff, coloring, dancing, games, clay, baking for some people, cooking for some people, reading for some people. But then you get into other things like traveling. if someone said creative play and then you hear the word travel, like that wouldn't necessarily sound like it belongs in the same place. But when you're traveling, you're opening yourself up to new experiences. You're building new neural pathways as you're exploring somewhere new. You're learning different cultures. You're exploring different foods. You're hearing different people speak in different languages or different dialects, even if you're staying like not too far away from home. The things that you experience in life that are out of the ordinary, that are unrestricted, free flowing, that is considered play. And if you are still confused about what creative play is, I got a whole podcast on it. Yes, we are bringing back uncomfortable for those who are familiar with what uncomfortable is. If you are not, it is just a creative play podcast that has been revamped over the years. Throughout the journey of Storyteller Planet, we have had a lot of things come and go, and uncomfortable is one of those things. And every week, every Wednesday, actually, from our time in season, which you do not know what in season is for Storyteller Planet. It is from March to around October, November. And I always give that kind of like ambiguous ending as far as the season, because October is Preptober and November is NaNoWriMo. We can get into that later on in the year. It is nothing to be concerned about. But around that time of the year, a lot of us on Planet decide to go and make our own projects for NaNoWriMo, which is National Novel Writing Month. So a lot of the content kind of gets a little wonky, and we like to end with a bang in October. But as I am digressing, just to bring it back, if you are in the market for some creative play in your life and want to really embrace it, like weekly, every Wednesday, just hop onto one of these platforms and it will be there. Um, Now let's get into some of the tools of the trade, because creative play, the reason why we started with it is because it is very hard to create without flow. If you have ever heard the phrase, I'm not in the zone. 90% of the time that means that people are not aware of how constricted their mindset has become. That's like the nicest way I guess I could put it. Instead of saying, you just play. That's so rude. Let's never say that. Um, uh, what what Gemini, move. I told you, you say anything a little too loudly, things start picking up. Um, what we are trying to hone in with creative play as storytellers is that we want to be open and excited about the things that we don't know. Now, there are going to be a lot of things. Some of these tools that you see here, you may already know. Just by looking at it, you can probably get an idea as to what some of these are going to lead towards, because each of these will lead to a different link that we will get into in a second, because these are important for storytellers. And one of the caveats, I would say, of not having an open mind is that we get pompous, we get proud, we get very know-it-all-y and in your face with a finger waggy kind of feeling. And when you embrace creative play, when you go skip rope or play cards or dance in a silly manner, your heart and your brain have an agreement that life doesn't have to be so rigid. So as we go through these fundamentals, I want you to keep that open mindedness in mind, because it's very easy for us to get into our heads about being successful and famous and whatever else you see as like a high pinnacle of something to be obtained. We're just trying to make stories, guys. It ain't that deep. I mean, it is, but like not that kind of deep. So what are some of these tools? All right. So a free digital pocket dictionary and thesaurus. Merriam-Web. We love Merriam-Web. Specifically the word of the day. What is the word of the day today? Just out of sheer curiosity, because I haven't. Nettle. To nettle someone is to make them angry or annoyed. Ugh, this world be nettling me, bro. Okay. But that is something to have. And if you have a smartphone and like to use it, maybe get the app because I promise you, probably all of these have an app. Why is it important to have something like Merriam-Webster? I don't know why she's moving so slow. She old, guys. She was established in 1828. She moving a little slow. Why is it important to have this as an app or just saved in your bookmarks? Because words are hard and we keep using the same ones over and over again. It is extremely important, especially us writers out there. I don't care if you're a copywriter or a fiction writer. You need to know your words. Words hold power, and using specific words will aid you in making the world a better place. And I say that because there is a lot of censoring going on around the place on and off planet. And we want to make sure that some words stay preserved. And not to shame anybody or anything, but we can't be walking around saying things like skippity toilet. Like we just can't. We just can't. We got to use our words. And the best way to have them is the dictionary and the thesaurus. Back in my day, when dinosaurs roamed the motherfucking earth, we had to always, and I mean always, from like I want to say preschool, but that's probably exaggerating. From kindergarten, I remember at least the earliest, the third grade, had to have a pocket dictionary and pocket thesaurus. It was on the school list. So get one for free because you don't got to pay for nothing no more. You used to pay like, I don't know, 20 bucks each for the little pocket dictionary for kids. Now you can just get it for free. And look, they have games and grammar stuff. I don't like going in there, but if you like to, better yourself, maybe go in there. What's a word finder? Hold up. We're gonna discover something together. Okay. Oh, it's a thing. It's a fill in the blank, unscramble. It's a game, guys. It's a game. Oh, and they have slang in here too. Okay, that's fun. Anyway, see, yay, fun with words. Maybe we'll make a whole nother segment about fun with words. Okay, a free digital pocket encyclopedia. It's literally the encyclopedia. Wow. Okay. If for those of you that do not know what an encyclopedia is, we're gonna actually ask Merriam-Webster what an encyclopedia. Encyclopedia. I knew it would come up if I just typed in a few words. A work that contains information on all branches of knowledge or treats comprehensively a particular branch of knowledge, usually in articles arranged alphabetically and often by subject. Okay, well that was a lot for a definition, but basically, if you don't know what an encyclopedia is, because I rarely hear people talk about it anymore, but maybe those in school still talk about encyclopedias. Um, I personally remember them being like the A through Z books that people would sell door to door. Now it is a website that you can just type in what do you want to learn and it will appear. It is very important that we have good references. I'm not saying to reference like every single little thing you do, but understand the information that is coming through to you. We are in a very critical time where information is kind of getting a little weird. And we want to make sure that as storytellers, we are telling stories from the truth, whatever that truth is. So if you have some burning questions from your stories that need answers, come to encyclopedia.com. Maybe don't go to your nearest search engine. But, in case you want to, I recommend this one. And again, I will not say it out loud because as you saw, things like to appear and just, funky flow with it. But this individual right here, there's a lot you can do with it. Let them explain it to you because this is not a commercial for the Goog, all right? But honestly, when I say they have an app for translating, if you're on the travel end of things, or if you deal with situations where you have to deal with multiple languages, or if you are trying to write something that involves multiple cultures and languages and this, that, and the third, and you're not trying to, unlock every single course on Duolingo, I don't know, maybe just maybe use the language translator because they did a really good job with it and you should, you know, be accurate with what you say. And I say that as being someone who was raised away from where their culture originates. So I don't know Puerto Rican slang like that. I have like some weird conglomerate of Caribbean slang because I was raised in Miami. So, yeah, the language is important. Use their translator. It's really good. Also, they have this really cool, handy dandy notebook. It's probably going to show you everything that I have and more in my life. But yeah, if you need a blank place to write your thoughts, look at that. A blank document for free. None of this that I am showing you requires money. Anything that I show you should never require money. That sounds awful. Why would we ever need to spend any more money than we already have to in life? This is a blank document. I am a huge fan of Microsoft Word. I have like no ill will towards the Microsoft anything. We love them. Hearts and hugs and kisses and all that jazz. But when I tell you that Google Docs has saved my hide as a writer and a person, you can get the app on your smart device and use it anywhere. And you can literally like be like writing on a plane offline, and then you cut back online, and then it's there, and then you go home and it's on your computer, and it's so nice. It's just so nice. And when I tell you that I wrote one of my books literally on a plane on this app and I have never gone back, yeah, get you some of that digital notebook action. And also to pair with your notebook, if you are not connected with Grammarly, well, you must be a wizard in grammar, because let me tell you something. Yes, you can pay for it. I don't, because why would you? But sign up. It's free. Again, this is not a ad for any of these people. I am not being sponsored by any of these people, but these are tools of the trade, guys. We are in the times where just doing things on the pen and paper are cute, but not necessarily the most efficient. So let's use some of the tools that people have created. Now, with this specific tool, I don't know why I'm not logged in on here. So let's log in real quick. Um, sure. You have so many emails, you don't even remember which one is the correct one. Um, this will connect to bitch. What do you think it's gonna work? And then it doesn't. So this works one of two ways. You can either like start something in here, which I have never ever done, as you can see. What is in here? Creak, 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 creak. Nothing. Okay. That was a waste of everyone's time. But as you can see, you can write in there and it's really cool. And that's a function, and that's awesome. But that's not how I use it. You see this down here? I hope you can. It's in the bottom right corner down here. This is Grammarly to me. Oh, see, looks like you got signed out. But when you're signed back in, senor, when you're signed back in and you write things like pretty little flower, you better let me type pretty little flower on a sunny day. And yeah, okay. So it's going to take a second because I use weird words. So it's going to be like, what is this a weird word she likes to use? But this, look, it's correcting your spelling. Gasp. I don't know why it's not picking this up. There we go. See, look at that. In action. And punctuation, because, grammar. And if you want to get in the weeds and see all the extra, what the heck? I just wanted to see this. There, the tone. Where's my tone? Anyway, normally it says it normally says something about like see what your tone is. I guess I didn't write enough for it to tell me what my tone is, but I always think it's helpful because if you're writing an email or something, it'll also pop up on the side and it'll tell you that, your tone's friendly or your tone's informative or it sounds professional. Kind of gives you that extra boost of am I on the right track or not? Well, Grammarly will be there in the background letting you know. And again, it's free because I'm not paying for this. That got time, patience, or energy for all that. Okay. Goodbye, notebook. Goodbye, all this other stuff. All our tools. Okay. Um, what's left? What's left? A free digital content creation station. We're already here, guys. This is it. Now I'm gonna take you to the homepage just because, I made the little link, but it's da 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 Canva. Look at all the things you could do with it. I don't even gotta say nothing. At it. Options. Oh yeah, options. Look at all the things you can make with it. Go nuts. Go ham sandwich. That's just social media, bro. Like you can make a whole website in here. I still don't know what that is. I'm not touching that because girl, I'm tired of making websites. But Canva is a fantastic place to go and brainstorm. I have done a little bit of a walkthrough about how to use like Canva to your best ability to brainstorm and all that. But if you go into the elements, they have an abundance of things. You type in socks, you're going to get graphics, photos. I don't know what is up with the 3D thing now. That's new, but it's kind of cute. Videos. Why is there videos? Oh my God, the videos on the socks. Stop it. Audio on socks. Like they got your back on what you need. And if they don't have the socks, then you could just go the AI route and they'll try to make it for you. Hopefully, something will pop up that doesn't look terrifying. And then, you take it from there. It's thinking really hard. Look at all that. Look at all them socks. Why do they look like Smurfs? Anyway, it's a great tool to have just because especially if you're on the visual side of things, or especially if you're on the digital side of things, and you need a place to put all your ideas. It is like, again, don't have anything wrong with the Microsoft crew, but it's like PowerPoint on crack. For those who are old enough to remember what Printmaster Gold is, this is Printmaster Gold in the now. I loved Printmaster Gold. Printmaster Gold was my jam, but it never had as much clip art as this has. And you can't even call it clip art anymore. It's their elements, their graphics, I think they're called. Anyway, the last but not least, for the basic, and remember, these are all basic tools of the trade. There's an abundance of tools that you can have at your disposal, but these right here are the ones that you need to have, like how they have like the spy utility belt. Like this is what you need to have. Like whip out the dictionary and thesaurus. Like we getting crazy kind of thing. But a flyer to visit your local library and obtain a free library card. Now, yes, I used my search engine to say public libraries near me. And you can see where I live. Oh, scary. Moving away. But um you need to know what is happening at your local library for a few reasons. One, they hold free information. You can use the computer for free. You can use their books for free. You can use their music and their video games and their DVDs and CDs and whatever else still exists in physical media. They got it. Magazines. If you got like 5 cents per page, I think at the library you can print something in like black and white or something. They have free workshops. They have, and I'm not just talking about my library, I'm talking about anybody's library. Now, I will say some people's libraries are better than other people's libraries just because of funding. And that's a whole nother different conversation. Check with your local library about what they have to offer. And if you see something at someone else's library that you want at your library, speak up about it. You know why? Because they all talk to each other. And I say that because long, long ago, before I left Earth and came to Storyteller Planet, I was a brief, I can't even say a librarian. I was part of the outreach program for the adults section of the library. And it is very fascinating to know that your libraries are talking to each other. They are trying to rack their brains of how to entice you to either read or attend an event. And they want you to come in with great haste, because the more people that show up to events at the library, and this is one of the most important reasons why you need to go to events and participate, and just at the bare bones minimum, just get the darn library card. Without people attending and participating in the community, especially at libraries, unfortunately, they will go under and they will disappear. And if your interest as a community member is not going towards something that is being paid for by said community, it will disappear. And I don't mean necessarily that the library itself will disappear, although that has happened to some branches. You lose interest, you lose patrons, and there's no reason to keep the library open. But when I say lack of participation leads to it disappearing, I mean that the funding goes down in a way that can actually influence a catalog. Like, think about it. How are you supposed to buy new books? We're literally talking about writing stories right now. Not necessarily a lot today. Today is more like a hi, welcome back kind of talk. But when you go to a library, especially if you're taking your kids or kids of people that you love, because I don't have any kids, but I have many kids that I love because they're my nieces and nephews and siblings. And when I want to take them to the library, I don't want the books falling apart. I don't want old books. Like, yes, it's nice to see a good Dr. Seuss books, don't get me wrong, but I want books that are being written now. I want diverse books. I want books that are in different languages. I want books that are going to expand the knowledge of the person who I'm taking to the library, because not many people voluntarily go to the library. And it again doesn't have to just be about books. They have a bunch of different media to choose from depending on your library and their budget. And workshops and events are also pretty cool. I've seen a few really interesting movies because they had like independent film festival at the library that I was working at, and I thought that was really cool because, these are people in your community that are coming together to bring their art. So, long story short, get a library card. Enough said. That's enough of the basic tools of the trade. What about the other tools? I need you to look for niche tools. It's like unofficial homework, but go look for tools that are speaking to your industry. That is what niche is. If you are in the creative writing portion, if you are a poet, go read some poetry and figure out like things that those poets used. When I talk about analog tools, I'm talking about physical, tangible things, books, magazines, articles. If you print them out, they become analog tools. Hard copy media, not just something that you can download. I mean, I I will say it like this: if you can keep it as something that is not tied to a subscription, and you can technically, if you have like a digital copy of a movie, I'm not saying how you got it, but in the LimeWire days, if you happen to have a copy of a movie on your device and you burned it onto a CD, if they still have the capability of doing that, then you now have an analog tool because it's something that's not connected to a subscription. So all the music that is on Spotify, that is 100% not an analog tool. But if you have a CD, that is an analog tool. You got me? Cool. As I was trying to say a little earlier, but got ahead of myself in the niche tools, attending workshops to collect tools is a fantastic way to steal like an artist. I have attended a lot of writing workshops in various forms. I think the Women in Publishing conference is coming up. A lot of the digital conferences that you can find online are fantastic ways to get a lot of different tools in your niche industry at the same time. Because yes, there's going to be a lot of speakers there and it's going to be very overwhelming, but each of them have their own flavor and each of them have something to offer that you may or may not know. So attending you know, all these digital workshops or in-person workshops. Again, going back to the library, they sometimes have creative workshops with artists and writers. Um, Go there and see what they have to offer. If you're more on the entrepreneurial side, I promise you, or at least I hope I promise you, because um, New Jersey has a really good business development thing as far as their state goes. I hope that your state or wherever you are in the world has support for tools of the business trade, because they are out there and they are free. And if you don't have them, then definitely go on New Jersey's website because they got some cool tools. It's important to know what is out there, and you won't know until you look for it. And also social media, yes, it has become less social, more media. And it is very hard to connect with people organically on the internet these days. But if you know certain you know, channels that you follow that you really like, uh, definitely listen to the kind of things that they use. Like, for example, you and me are over here jamming. Even though you can't see my face this time, I'm giving you the tools that I use often. And some of them may seem obvious to you, but other ones may be like, wow, I haven't thought about an encyclopedia since someone came at my door when I was 7 years old asking if I wanted the letter Q because I didn't have it in my collection. Like, I don't know. But just to give you a little bit more examples of niche tools, if you are in the animation industry, especially if you are not in LA, it is important to know some of these things, like getting on the email list for Animation Magazine, because they will tell you everything that's happening all over the world in animation without you having to go search for it. Or you could just go to their website. I mean, if you have that kind of mental capacity, I don't. You need to be connected with some of the bigger players of the independent side of the industry. If you are Latin, then go to Latin American Latin International Film Festival. It says Latin twice. Whatever. No, Los Angeles Latin International Film Festival. Cheese and crackers. I know I would get it. I was like staring at it like Latin America. Anyway, they are a fantastic resource. Latinx is the people behind Lalif. That's I should have put Latinx. That's what tripped me up. But they're fantastic for connecting people in the industry that are of Latin descent. If you are not, then maybe you're African American, go to Afro Animation. Maybe you're a woman, go to Woman in Animation. There are and a few. I'm not going to say an insurmountable amount of groups, but there are a few of diverse groups that really support independent artists. So if you're in the animation business, definitely be connected to them. All artists across the board, I don't care what you are doing, should take 5 seconds or an hour or two to go through the Pixar in a Box free online videos, because they are a basic blueprint to how to tell stories. We all know Pixar knows how to tell a story. And I believe their first module is just talking about storytelling. So dive your teeth into there. I don't care what your niche is. That's everyone. That should have been a main tool right there, the Pixar in a Box, now that I'm thinking about it. And also, I kind of didn't want to pull up the website because last time I did it in one of the videos, the pictures were so large because I feel like they scanned them directly from like the art that they do. They were so large they were lagging, and I didn't want to have to go through that again. But go to the Animation Archive reference. I think that's what it's called, like as a website, and scroll through there and see what the greats have done before us to get some inspiration, and that is considered a tool. So I say all that to say, oh, these are some analog tools. These are two books that you can read because they're going to help you with storytelling. Sorry, I forgot I put that in there. That kind of threw me off. I'm like, okay, we're still giving examples. That's cool. I mean, I told you I was going to give examples, but like take a screenshot of this because I'm not about to like show you the books and give like a whole dissertation for K.M. Wieland or John Truby. Like, just know that these two books are invaluable tools that you could use. I'm going to take a water break. Please hold. Ugh, water, get you some, bro. Oh, I haven't had a water break in a very long time on any of the shows. But because you can't see me, I had to physically say water break. Anyway, um, I happen to put all of the things that we're talking about into these articles. If you are a part of the support squad, you will have access to this in the land of the learning. Um, if you're not, well, I'm sorry, you will not have access to it. But if you do, just to show I'm not logged in, so it will not appear. But you go to the directory, you go to the land of learning, and then if you're not a member, you could sign in because that's always cool. Um, hello, it's me. Okay. Um, so you go to the land of learning and it'll be here. And this toolbox, if you wanted the recommended reading, which kind of goes into the analogness of it all. I don't know why that got so large when I did that, whatever. Um, if you want to get into the analog stuff, then go to the recommended reading. But the Storyteller's Ultimate Toolbox has an abundance of stuff. I haven't updated it in a while, but this is like the treasure trove of things that I find that every storyteller should use. So read that at your leisure and such. Also, the Mythical Manuscript Guild, or the MMG, as we like to call it on Planet, is a wonderful source of tools. Just that's what it is. Anything that I find that I don't update to the toolbox, I put in the guild. And I feel that as more people participate in the guild with their own tips and tricks that are not just directed at specifically creative writing, because I know there's a lot of creative writing that happens here, but as we've established, storytelling is not just creative writing, it is a myriad of things. So I hope that as time goes on, more resources and tools appear at the guild organically, and you can be a part of the guild as a support squad member. Sorry, tripping over my words here. You can be a part of the guild if you are a support squad member, but you can also be a part of the guild if you are just a Fantasy Island reader. Because I like to add little bonuses and stuff and things. So yeah, cool. Your homework, something to take home with you. Choose one creative play action from the list and do it. Or just, make something up or go Google in depth uh the meaning of creative play and take it from there. And I want you to create a quote unquote tool belt by making your most important tools immediately accessible. It doesn't have to be anything that we talked about here. Unless something resonated with you, then definitely add it to your tool belt. But the tools that you use on the regular, whether they're like physical, tangible, actual, like I'm holding my water bottle in my phone kind of tools, or digital tools like Google Docs or Canva, make them accessible. Put them on your bookmarks tab or put them as an app in a specific folder that you access all the time. I don't care. Make it happen, Captain, because you need to be in the zone to be able to flow. Remember how we started all this saying creative play creates flow, and that flow creates action for us to be able to make the story. So, that is all I have for you guys today. Oh my gosh, we are doing this. We are doing the thing. Next month, we are going to be talking about the triad of story, which is plot, theme, and character. Again, you can kind of find all of these fundamentals that we have here in Fast Paced Fundamentals on the site in Fundamentals 101 and also in story mode, which is a brand new thing that came to Storyteller Planet this season. So definitely check that out. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys. I hope that you are doing well and keep making fantastic stories, guys. We definitely need it. All right, stay awesome. Love you guys. Bye.